Thiago Santos versus Magomed Ankalaev takes place this weekend in the main event of UFC Fight Night Vegas 50, Santos versus Ankalaev, and I can't wait for this light heavyweight main event. It's a big fight in the light heavyweight division. Number 6 in the world, Magomed Ankalaev versus number 3 in the world, Thiago Santos. A changing of the guard type fight. The guy who's fought for the belt before in Thiago Santos, lost his fair share of fights in the light heavyweight division as well in Thiago Santos versus the up-and-comer, Magomed Ankalaev, essentially undefeated other than one moment at the end of the Paul Craig fight where he tapped. Still to this day, I have no idea why he tapped in that fight, but he's the up-and-comer on a winning streak in the light heavyweight division. Very, very great fighter. Only one loss on his record. Other than that, he's been pretty stellar throughout his entire career, and now he's taking on his biggest test in Thiago Santos. However, I don't believe this is going to be his biggest test, because I think Thiago Santos is just about done. Now, there are people saying that this could be a title elimination bout. I don't believe this is a title elimination bout unless a very specific set of things happen. Jan Blachowicz has to lose to Alexander Rakic. That needs to happen in the first place. And Anthony Smith needs to not sign a fight whatsoever. Otherwise, the winner of this fight this weekend is not going to get a title shot. Because if Anthony Smith signs a fight against another top contender and beats them, he's arguably going to have earned a title shot, and he's higher ranked than Magomed Ankalaev, or Magomed Ankalaev, if he does beat Thiago Santos. Even then, he still will probably be ranked below Anthony Smith if Anthony Smith does win another fight, especially if, let's say, he beats the winner of Krylov versus Craig, and say beats Paul Craig, a guy who's beaten Magomed Ankalaev before. What I'm saying is a lot of things need to go a certain way before we can guarantee Magomed Ankalaev a title shot here, so I personally don't believe that he's going to get a title shot, in my opinion. Just on the amount of randomness that needs to go correct for him, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to need one more fight after this, and if Thiago Santos wins, there's no way he's getting a title shot. So we'll see what happens next in the light heavyweight division. But this weekend, let's talk about that. Big fight, big matchup. I am going to go with Magomed Ankalaev here because Thiago Santos is not Thiago Santos anymore. He's not the guy that beat Jan Blachowicz. He's not the guy who was whooping up a bunch of people in the light heavyweight division and beating them very impressively and thunderous shots. And even the guy who fought John Jones, because even then in that fight, he didn't really have the full extent of his injuries because he didn't go through the surgery where they had to sever all of the tendons in his leg before they could heal it back again. He doesn't seem to be the same level of fighter whatsoever. He's not the Thiago Santos that's going to wing a vicious head kick out of nowhere and then spin around and throw yet another head kick immediately afterwards in tornado fashion. Like, he's just not that guy anymore. He's not going to be winging these wheel kicks or anything like that because he just simply doesn't seem to be able to twist or swivel on his leg the same way that he used to, especially after the John Jones fight. So I am going to be going with Magomed Ankalaev here. Should he be the massive favourite that he is? No, but Dagestanis get that privilege. But also the bets makers, and you're noticing this as every single year passes, there's certain favourites that are just like, if it's over 2-1, they're going to whack it up to a disproportionate amount because they don't want you making money on favourites. So if you could pick Ankalaev as a 2-1 favourite, you'd probably make good money on him. So they're just sort of like removing the ability for people to like make a profit betting on him unless they chuck him in by a certain way, a certain method of victory, maybe put him in a parlay with some underdogs so it's a bit riskier to get money. So that's what it is, and that's why the odds are the way they are. But I'm not going to bite on the odds. Magomed Ankalaev wins this fight, I believe, honestly, 8 times out of 10. Not 6, not 7, like you'd normally see with some of these prediction videos. 8 times out of, honestly, 9, 8.5. Like, I do believe he wins this one because Thiago Santos just is not the same guy, man. He's not the same guy anymore. He has not recovered after that leg surgery. He had some moments against Glover still, but Glover does get rocked. But like, Kutalaba had moments against Glover. Carl Roberson had moments against Glover. It's crazy that Glover's even champ. Krylov almost beat Glover. Split decision. Razor close decision. Arguably could have gone either way anyway. They gave it to Glover because he ended in a good position in one of the rounds that secured himself the fight. But still, Thiago Santos, at least when it comes to striking opponents, when he's on the feet and he's playing that technical striking battle, he's not the same guy. We saw it against Johnny Walker, man. Like, anything other than destruction of Johnny Walker is not a good performance against Johnny Walker. The fact that he even made it close over the 5 rounds and showed that level of timidness, of fear, against Johnny Walker. Didn't want to engage, landed one good punch, I believe, in round 4 that Johnny Walker ate quite well. Other than that, he just played a kicking game on the outside, kicked under 5 times around, some at the legs, some at the body, some on the arms, and won the fight because of that. Like, I don't think it's going to be a good one for Thiago Santos, because I think he's now playing the style of fight that really does favour Magomed Ankalaev, which is a slow, technical battle on the feet. There's not going to be any grappling here, at least from the direction of Thiago Santos. I don't think he can take down Magomed Ankalaev. I don't think he'll even try and take down Magomed Ankalaev. Maybe he'll shoot at one point in the fight a half-hearted takedown just to put that thought in the mind of Magomed Ankalaev. But I think Ankalaev knows there's no threat of this guy grounding him out and beating him up on the ground or anything like that. So I don't see that happening here. I see Magomed having the advantage if it does go to the ground. I see him having the advantage mentally on the feet, just knowing that he has that opportunity to take things to the ground and work things there. But yeah, really looking forward to this matchup. It's not the most anticipated one. Like, I'm not sitting here like, oh, I wonder what happens, which is normally what I like to do whenever there's a big main event coming up, when it's actually like a little bit of a risk. Like, even though Covington was a big favourite over Masvidal, there's still a chance Masvidal wins that. We saw that in round 4. Like, there's still a chance where it's interesting. You're like, oh, risky. Santos has that ability to land that big shot on Ankalaev. People have landed big shots on Ankalaev, but he has got a good chin, but he has been, like, cracked quite well. I don't know if anyone's watched his Cliton Farias-Diabrio fight. He got cracked pretty well in the first round there, stunned him a bit, and he sort of like, oh, fuck, I've been hit by a big shot. He didn't get wobbled or dropped or anything like that, but he got stung with a big shot that definitely made him think, oh, fuck, that was a big one. I need to get on my bike a little bit here. He's also had some moments against Nikita Krylov where he lost the first round. I actually said that he would win against Nikita Krylov by 29-28 decision. Based on the last 2 rounds, I thought it would be a very close fight just because of the style that Nikita brings. He drags on you. He'll grind on you against a cage. It's very difficult to beat Nikita Krylov by a very large margin, especially this current version of him, because people forget Nikita Krylov, I believe, is like 28 years of age. Ukrainian as well, God tier genetics in terms of combat sports. Like, he's got a lot to progress on, and I think he can actually go on to be quite a threat in this division. And the split decision to Glover kind of shows that, right, when it comes to the grappling. Like, this guy's a very good contender. I think he's going to beat Paul Craig, and I think he'll actually be a contender in the division moving forward. But even still, he had a very good first round against Magomed Ankalaev. Very, very good moments there, especially in the first round where he was landing some big shots on the feet. Very good on the feet. Had a couple of takedown attempts that were stuffed, but he still worked in the clinch to make sure that he won those rounds. So I don't think there's too much to look down on Ankalaev for in that Nikita Krylov performance. But Thiago Santos, it's just, what do I do here? Like, he plays the counter game well on the feet. When Manoa comes crashing forward against him, he can do well there. But let's even look to some more patient fights that he's had to where it isn't so wild. Blachowicz comes crashing forward against him, trying to get things going in a straight line moving forward. He catches him with the counter shots. Even against Jones, he's moving around on the outside, chopping at the calf. He'll burst forward and here and there to try and make something happen, but overall, he's waiting for you to do something so he can just uncork vicious combinations. He did the same thing against Glover Teixeira as well. Teixeira came forward, Santos winged about 5 hooks immediately, bang, 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 bang. Did he get taken down? Did he drop Glover? It was kind of a 50-50 in those moments. I just don't think it's going to be good for him here. He's playing a very slow striking battle against Ankalaev, and I think when you do that and you don't smother him like Krylov tried to do on the feet early on, you just let him figure you out, and he eventually figures you out, and that's what leads to stuff like front kick KOs in the 3rd round against Dalcha Lungiambula. I'm not comparing Santos to Lungiambula, but wild, genetic freak, big puncher. And when they play that patient game, it doesn't work out for them as well. Ankalaev's not going to overextend himself crashing forward like a Neon Kutalaba did. He's the counter guy. He's the one sitting back, waiting for Kutalaba to come to him so he can land those big shots. I think if you really want to give Magomed Ankalaev trouble, it's going to be a Yuri who's got the chin to crash forward, which maybe Santos doesn't have at this point in his career so late on, because he's had his damage in fights. He's been KO'd a few times in his career. I mean, let's not forget he got KO'd by David Branch at middleweight. I know he was cutting a lot of weight, but still, it's not like he's got a granite chin at this point in his career. In fact, his head is quite small. Yuri's like a fresher guy. Sure, he's had some wars, but he's still in the early part of his ascension, I would say. So it would take like a Yuri a Glover to grapple with him, an Alexander Rakic, even a Jan Blachowicz to try and figure out a guy like Magomed Ankalaev. So I think the bigger tests for him are way further ahead. I just don't think that Santos is going to prove any threat whatsoever. There's a chance that he can land a big shot and get this out of there early on. I'm not going to bet on that. I'm going to bet on Ankalaev. I'm not going to put any money on him, but I might go with him by TKO or something like that. I could definitely see him just put like a good front kick on the face of Santos, maybe just stepping through with a big right straight, right on the chin of Santos. Maybe he picks him apart for a bit. Santos starts looking a bit defeated, starts failing a couple of takedowns that he's trying out because he can't win the stand-up battle. Then Ankalaev maybe like elbows him a couple of times, finds the tie clinch, lands a big knee to the body, starts piecing him up against a cage. Santos comes crashing forward. Ankalaev catches him coming in. Like, I can see Santos getting a bit desperate because he's not going to be ahead on the point fighting. And he was against Johnny Walker. He was slightly ahead, so he never had to come crashing forwards and risk anything. Against Ankalaev, I don't think he's going to be able to be slightly ahead. He's going to be slightly behind, and that's going to lead to him eventually making a mistake to try and get the fight back in his favour, and that's when he's going to get caught by Magomed Ankalaev, who's going to win this one, I do believe, by, I'll say late second round TKO for Magomed Ankalaev. I don't think it will happen in the first. I can see it happening in the second. Maybe the third, because if you think about the mentality of Santos, if he is going to come a bit more reckless, it'll be after maybe losing 2 rounds rather than 1. If you lose 1 round, you've got another chance to win a round back before you can start thinking like you would do in a third round, where I need to win every round if I need to win this by decision. So maybe I'll say third round TKO for Magomed Ankalaev. We have not seen his cardio into the deep, deep waters of a fight in terms of round 4 and 5. So maybe this does get there and Santos can prove some things, but I don't know. Don't see it going well. Santos has got good leg kicks before his injury, which would have made such a great fight, because if you look at the Ozdemir fight with Ankalaev, it was quite close, and Ozdemir did have very much a lot of success with the leg kicks in that fight as well. So maybe if this was the old Thiago Santos, I could see him chopping up the legs a little bit, having some success, but Ankalaev has proven he's durable, he can take damage, he can figure you out, he can adjust in between rounds, and I think Santos is going to be that perfect matchup for him. Could I be wrong? Maybe, but I'll pick Thiago Santos to get taken down at some point in this fight as well. I think Ankalaev will shoot some takedowns on him, especially with that one ligament in his leg. I mean, no ligaments in his leg, I do believe, sorry. I don't think he's going to be able to balance or like stuff a great takedown with a great foundational base of his stance and plant his heels into the floor and sprawl or anything like that, or he plant the balls of his feet into the floor and sprawl backwards. I don't see his base being strong enough to stop a takedown from Ankalaev, but I also don't think Ankalaev's going to really need a takedown. Maybe he gets a takedown at the end of the second, lands some ground and pound shots after winning the first round in a very boring, patient first round. Slow, patient start of the second round. Santos rushes in, Ankalaev double legs him to the ground, lands a couple of shots towards the end of the second round. Third round, Santos is getting a bit more wild, throwing head kicks that are missing, trying to spin him back fist afterwards. Bink, he gets caught on the chin by Ankalaev, goes down badly. But yeah, I'm definitely seeing an Ankalaev win here. I think he's a very good prospect. It's just after this one, if he does get past Santos, I'm not overlooking him. If he does get past Santos, that's where the interest begins. The Rakic, the Blachowicz, even if Anthony Smith wins one more and they want to do those two those two together before they get a title shot, that could be kind of interesting. Smith's having a bit of a resurgence at this point in his career. I just don't see Santos getting this one done, but like even the Yuri Prohaskas, the Glover Teixeiras, those are the interesting matchups for Ankalaev in my opinion. I actually think there's more. I think he has a really good chance against Glover. So if Glover's still the champ by the time Ankalaev gets there, I'll trust in Ankalaev to win that one, I think. He's got great takedown defense. It's one of his best attributes. But, we'll see how things go. Maybe he gets caught in a triangle. 1 second to go in the fifth. But I think he's got this one due to the timidness and the patience of Santos. Ankalaev gets this one done. Winner of this one, I would recommend, should just either take on Anthony Smith, because it's soon, right? So if they can get a quick turnaround, International Fight Week main card, one of the main cards in July. There's 2 pay-per-views apparently, so one of those main card openers, Ankalaev versus Smith, title elimination bout. I'd rather it be a main event of a fight night, so maybe do that instead. Something like that. Probably not an international fight month. Maybe like August or June, something like that, depending on how quick of a turnaround they can do. I would love to see that matchup, so I reckon that's what they do next. Or if Blachowicz beats Rakic, they could maybe do Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev for a title shot, because, of course, some people get immediate rematches. Blachowicz ain't getting a rematch even if he does beat Rakic for his belt. Even if he was a defending champion, you just know how things go. He's not going to get that same privilege that other fighters in the UFC get. So like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Goodbye. Magomed Ankalaev, 3rd round. Check hook KO. Toodle pip. See you later.